Dimensiones Occultas and Metropole Books present Cockblocker by David Irons. Read by Skye Alley. Prologue. 8:47 p.m., Beverly Hills, California, 1985. Christy Kennedy swerved down palm tree-lined streets in her brand-new BMW, speeding so fast everything outside churned to a blur. Her 8-year-old daughter Kelly sat beside her, hands on the dash, clinging for dear life. Christy looked as she did every day. Too much makeup, a real fur coat, stocking-covered legs, and white high heels. She was the epitome of a Beverly Hills woman on the outside, but on the inside. "I'm telling you, honey, we're going to catch the fucking kook in the act this time." Christy poured a line of Coke on the dashboard from a baggie, leaned in, and hoovered it up like a human vacuum. She washed down the narcotics with a mouthful of whiskey from her hip flask and then tossed the flask in the back. "Mom!" Kelly cried as the BMW veered onto the wrong side of the road, heading straight towards an oncoming bus. Christy pulled the car back to her own lane. Clouds of white smoke peeled from the tires like the clouds of white drugs rushing through her brain. I got it, Christy hissed. Then, with vicious rage, something that was happening more often than not, she grabbed hold of Kelly's nearest pigtail and yanked it. "Ding dong! Keep out of my driving, dork breath! I know what I'm doing!" "Ow! You nearly killed us!" "Ding dong!" She yanked the pigtail again. "Ow!" "Keep your opinion to yourself. Jesus, kid, you're just as boring and dried up as your old man. Just because I want a little drinky and snorty behind the wheel? Fuck, we can afford it. When I catch his ass in the act, we'll be able to afford anything." "Dad isn't having an affair, Mom!" Kelly cried. "Why do we have to keep following him all over town?" "Ding dong!" She yanked the pigtail again. "Listen, dork breath, a woman's intuition is like gold. When something's up, we know something's up. I know he's making a fool out of me, screwing around, sticking in somewhere it doesn't belong. Everyone thinks it's a good laugh. Christy Kennedy, the sucker of Beverly Hills. Well, no more, bub. They think I must be crazy to suspect old daddykins of playing away. I'll show them how crazy I can be." Kelly looked at her mom wide-eyed. A stab of worry made the idea of how crazy her mom could be bleed through her entire body. The BMW skidded to the curb outside Kelly's father's dental practice. "Here we are," Christy said. "He's in there now, boinking some stupid slut that thinks pulling his plank will be a way to open his purse strings." "You don't know—" "Ding dong!" "Ow!" Kelly rubbed her head where her pigtail had been yanked again. "I have my spies, dork breath. I wish you wouldn't call me that." "I'm your mother. I'll call you what I want. It's about time you smartened up, girl. It's about time you understood what kind of a world we live in. Your old man is balls deep in some hussy and all our so-called highfalutin friends are laughing at us. I know it. I can feel it. Let me give you a slice of free advice, kid. The world is like a 2-layer cake. On top, it's all icing and sugar. And underneath," Christy started to slur her words as the booze and snort kicked in, "it's all backstabbing and jealousy. It's not butter and cream. It's shit and sewage. People smile in your face, but they mock, laugh, tease, and try to put a nail in your coffin behind your back. A secret society of assholes walk among us, kid. They're called your friends. They have opinions behind your back. The one place you'll never know where anything is said. You don't want to ever, and I mean ever, lose face to anyone. You gotta be smart, kid. Be the best. Be perfect. Stand up for yourself and get what you want. Because even people you trust fucking stab you in the heart." Christy started to thump her chest like King Kong, ready to swat a plane. Kelly cleared her throat. "I think—" Christy swatted Kelly around the back of the head. "Don't think. Just listen, dweeb breath. Christy plumped her brunette hair in the rear view, wiped her nose for coke. You got my hair, my eyes, my lungs. You'll be a great bitch when you grow up. Christy wiped her sweaty face and smeared her makeup. Come on, let's go pay old Daddy-O a visit. They both slinked into the reception of his dental surgery. Christy had copied all his keys and could creep anywhere Frank Kennedy could creep. A new noise entered the silent soundtrack as they snuck down the hallway to his surgery. Kelly heard her father moan in pleasure. Fucking. See? I knew it. Christy nodded. No, Kelly trembled. Maybe he has a patient in there. Ding dong! Christy yanked her daughter's pigtail. Ow! The only drilling going on in there is between some floozy's legs. Come on, let's rumble this fucker. Christy grabbed Kelly's hand and rushed down the hallway. See, kid, some people would think a sneak attack would be the best in this situation. Christy panted. There's no time for that subtle crap. It's time for a full frontal assault. Christy stopped by the door of his surgery, hiccuped, wiped her coke-white nostrils, and burst through. Christy's mouth fell wide as Kelly's eyes welled up. Christy's intentions of a big entrance were sucked from her body just as her husband was being sucked in his dentist's chair. But it wasn't some trashy tramp he'd picked up on Hollywood Boulevard. Kelly's school principal, Bob Williamson, was the one blowing Frank. It's not what you think, Frank yelled, putting himself back in his pants, trying to zip up. Nope, it's not, Bob said, clambering from his knees. Bob started wiping his lips. It's just toothpaste, referencing the white around his mouth. Yeah, it's a new sour toothpaste that doesn't smell minty, Frank added. What the holy fuck? Christy said. Frank began to plead. Honey, I need to talk to you about... Can it? Christy said. She staggered, held on to the door frame with one hand and rubbed her aching forehead with the other. Everyone was laughing at me for marrying you. They thought it was a joke that you'd play away, but this... She held her drug-spinning head with both hands. Sucking the old salami. Jesus Christ, she moaned. Bob and Frank's words all mixed into one. We need to talk to you about this. We needed to converse like adults. It's just how it is. Frank and I. She couldn't take any more of this. Once this got out, the humiliation. All those pretentious cocktail-sipping assholes wailing with laughter flashed in her mind. It wouldn't get out. Christy pulled out the .45 she had hidden in her fur coat and called to Bob. Hey, Bob! The gun barrel exploded with no thought of consequence. Bob's cranium blew apart as if his skull had been rigged with TNT. The room's clinical white walls turned clotted crimson with the principal's brains. Immediately, the coppery stink of viscous fluid entered the air. No! Frank yelled, covered in his lover's hot gore spray, as Bob's brainless body slumped to the floor. Oh, shut up! Christy cried and put 2 slugs into Frank's chest. Immediately, he hit the floor and bright blood seeped into his white shirt. Kelly watched open-mouthed as Bob and her father bled out on the floor. Her dad groaned in pain. Bob's body twitched even though he had a gored-out jack-o'-lantern head. Mom! What have you done? Kelly sunk to her knees, devastated. Christy sucked air and tried to get her bearings. I did what needed to be done. I did it. They won't laugh at me now. I'm not going to be some pushed-aside fag hag. Kelly started trembling and blubbering. Ding dong! Christy yelled, yanking Kelly's pigtail. Get your ass to the car. Go to the trunk. She pushed the blood-soaked barrel of the gun into Kelly's face. Bring me the axe, like a good girl. Christy cut the men up to bloody lumber. The sinewy, fleshy sounds the axe made, tearing through their wet bodies, molded itself in Kelly's ears and wouldn't leave. She watched as her father's head was taken off at the neck, arms and legs chopped at ankles, elbows, and knees. Blood pooled thickly on the once white floor tiles. Kelly rocked gently in the corner, pulling her pigtails as she whispered, "Ding dong, ding dong." She kept ringing, but it was no use. No one was home. She watched as Christy went to work on Bob, splitting him into gory slithers. "No wonder we got private school cheap for you, Kelly. Daddy was getting a discount one load at a time." The men's clothes were turned into sopping rags, their bodies obliterated to pieces. Christy got creative, took some of Daddy's dental tools and severed both men's cocks off. After wringing the blood from them, she attached one to each hoop of her earrings. A pair of withered dicks dangled down, slapping her neck and cheeks every time she moved. "That's all they're good for," she said. Christy's drug and booze-filled mind ignored the crimson spray that had saturated her body. Her face was dripping, her fur coat a red, matted mess. "Fix them good, huh, kid?" Kelly rocked and repeated over crazily, "Ding dong, ding dong." In the distance, the sound of sirens grew nearer and louder. Within minutes, the fuzz was bursting through the door, officers slipping on the gory floor. Christy put the axe through the chest of the first officer on the scene. She let out a mad war cry as his ribs made a loud cracking sound as they separated to make room for the bloody blade. "Men, all the fucking same. Soft!" More cops barged in, immediately open-mouthed at the gruesome massacre. Christy grinned at them, axe in hand, covered in crimson with cocks for earrings, standing over the fresh corpse of one of their own. Without a second's notice, they opened fire. Huge blossoms of blood erupted from the shell's impact, and Christy was instantly downed. She hit the floor and splashed in the congealing life fluid that splattered Kelly in the face. Christy crumpled up like a stepped-on spider, her life force slipping away. "Never let them walk all over you, kid," she sighed in her dying breath, reaching out for Kelly with a crimson-caked hand. "Never let the bastards laugh at you behind your back. Never let a man take you for a ride. The only person you can trust in this world is you." Christy's head exploded into meaty chunks as one of the cops stepped in with a shotgun and ventilated it like an 18-wheeler would a watermelon. Brains sprayed everywhere. Flinders of skulls shot out like bone darts and peppered Kelly. "Teach that bitch," the cop with a shotgun said, spitting on the freshly made corpse. Then he turned and realized Kelly was rocking behind the door they burst through, covered from head to toe in the red stains of slaughter. "Oh my God. Oh Jesus. Shit, there's a kid in here." The other officers rushed into the carnage and stared down at the blood and brain-soaked girl. "Ding dong, ding dong," Kelly kept whispering. Then, buried under her heavy, disjointed breath, she hissed, "I'll never let them walk all over me, Mama. I'll never let the bastards laugh at me behind my back. I'll be perfect.